Coming up on CPTV, local region businesses continue to struggle as the coronavirus pandemic continues. President Joe Biden approaches his 10th day in office, and the pressure is on as the winter sports teams near their respective postseasons. CPTV is up next.
Hi, I'm Sarah Frey.
And I'm Jon Lieber.
Welcome to CPTV. Sebastian Zieniewicz will have your 5-day weather forecast, and Blake Pysh will bring us CP sports highlights.
Here's what's happening at Crown Point High School.
As the coronavirus pandemic rages into its second year, small and local businesses across the region continue to struggle to stay alive. Business owners are not only fighting to stay open, but also keeping their businesses safe and clean. Here with more is CPTV's Sebastian Zieniewicz.
With the COVID-19 pandemic continuing to affect everybody here in the country, local business operators are struggling the most. Some have chosen to keep their doors open, and some have chosen to permanently shut down their doors for good. Today I got the chance to speak with some local business operators on their potential future plans to try to stay open to fight the COVID-19 pandemic.
Over the year, we have lost over half of our leagues, basically because we have older people that don't want to bowl, which is understandable. We've lost a majority of our bar business because obviously you're not supposed to be out and in the bars. We've had to cancel many events and bands that we had scheduled to play, so that was a huge hit on money. As far as income goes, probably 95% of our revenue has been lost due to the pandemic. Our plans for the future are to come up with some new leagues, maybe some shorter seasons to try and draw people in, different varieties of people. Right now, we're going to continue with our social distancing until we're told that hopefully this virus is gone and we don't need to do that anymore.
The biggest change for us really happened at the beginning when the lockdown happened. Coming out of that, we had to change what seemed to be such a small thing turned into a big thing. We went from appointments, from walk-ins to appointments. That changed my worker classification, that changed my business model, that changed a lot of things for us. As far as like sanitation, disinfection, we've always been really good at that, and so no real changes were made there. But coming out of it, the changes that we made in the business, the way my workers are paid and all of that, keeping a business model in place moving in the future is going to be a real challenge. But we're learning from it, we're working with it, and it's becoming very good for us. Like I said, we're staying busy, and we're thankful for that.
Since the start of the pandemic, many board meetings have been held around the community to discuss the future plans of action that Crown Point businesses and organizations should take to stay as safe as possible. Masks are still being required, and social distancing remains in effect with the recommendation of a 6 feet distance between others. Although these local business operators do have future plans to keep their businesses open, only time will tell during this year to see if those future plans do indeed take effect. For CPTV, I'm Sebastian Zieniewicz.
All CPHS junior students are required to participate in the February administration of the iStep Plus test the next 2 coming Wednesdays. CPHS will administer the math sections of the iStep on February 3rd, and the English sections will be administered a week later on February 10th. Juniors, check your school email for your assigned testing locations. 46th President of the United States, Joe Biden, took the oath of office just 9 days ago. President Biden signed more than 20 executive orders in his first 10 days, which is more than former Presidents Donald Trump and Barack Obama combined signed in their first week. Here's CPTV's Sam Massey to catch you up on each executive order.
It's been 10 days since the new president has been sworn in, and Joe Biden has already tried to put this country on a new track. Some presidents start off slow, but Joe Biden is not wasting any time. Since being sworn in on January 20th, the president has signed close to 50 executive orders. 16 of them have been signed in relation to COVID-19 response. Some of these include ordering FEMA to open more vaccination sites, returning the USA to the World Health Organization, and ordering the safe reopening of schools across the country. Other big orders include re-entering the Paris Climate Accords, ordering the Attorney General to not renew contracts with private prisons, and ending the restrictions on travel between majority Muslim countries and the U.S. President Biden has been calling other world leaders like Canada Prime Minister Justin Trudeau to discuss many different issues, and has already confronted other world leaders like Russian President Vladimir Putin. All of this is going on while Congress scrambles to indict former President Donald Trump for inciting a riot on Capitol Hill. The House has already impeached Trump, who is the only president in American history to be impeached twice. Biden will be working with the Democratic majority in both the House and Senate to get his campaign promises passed. With 1,450 days to go, President Biden has made his first 10 count. This is Sam Massey for CPTV.
With constant changes in the learning environment this year due to the pandemic, it can be difficult for not only the students to learn information effectively, but also for the staff adapting to different teaching styles. CPTV's Ryan Costello got an insight on students and staff opinions on how productive the first semester actually was.
Last March, we thought this pandemic would all be over within 2 weeks. Now a semester into our school year, and the virus is still infecting those around us. Due to these unforeseen circumstances, our learning plan is constantly changing. Therefore, we wanted to see how students and teachers here at CPHS are adapting to these non-stop changes.
During red status, I found school to be a lot harder. I was struggling a lot more, but when we were in green status, like 1 week that I was actually in green and I wasn't quarantined, I found school a lot easier. Teachers gave less homework, but then during yellow, it's like the worst of both. I stay up later at night to do homework. I get up early to go to school. In the few hours I am home, I'm either doing homework or I'm studying for tests and quizzes, or I'm just sleeping for like 2 hours a night.
I'm not good with online learning, so I always need a teacher by me if I don't understand something, so I can ask questions.
Personally, I think it's challenging to move between green and yellow schedules because I lack motivation to do schoolwork at home, so when we return to a green schedule, I feel behind in class.
I tried to still execute the same kinds of things I would do if we were in green status all the time, but obviously we're not, so I make accommodations based on what it is that we can accomplish.
As far as the way I plan my lessons, I've had to be very conscientious about the delivery, because you're not just speaking to students who are coming to school some days and at home other days. I'm also personally with my classes speaking to students who are at home all the time. So I always have to be really conscientious of the way I'm addressing my students and the expectations, because those are a little bit different depending on the specific learning situation.
In order to get back to more normal times, you need to make sure you wear your mask and social distance. For CPTV, I'm Ryan Costello.
We're forecasted to have a large snowstorm hit the region this weekend, but will it actually come? Here's Sebastian Zieniewicz with your 5-day weather forecast.
Well, John, it's just a dreary, cloudy day out there right now, but that will all change soon this weekend. Let's take a look at today's forecast. By noon, the temperature will be 38 degrees under partly sunny skies, and winds gusting up to 20 miles per hour. The temperature will actually drop throughout the day under clear skies, with the temperature dropping to around 32 degrees by 6 o'clock. For your 5-day weather forecast, as we head into the weekend for tomorrow, the high will reach 32 degrees and a low of 22, with some heavy snow moving in overnight, where we can get 5 inches by sunrise. On Sunday, the snow will diminish early afternoon. We will reach a high of 33 with a low of 18. As a matter of fact, we are going to see snowy conditions all through next week as well. As we head into Monday, we could see highs of 34 degrees and a low of 23. We'll see another 6 to even 9 inches of snow in northwest Indiana. On Tuesday, the freezing temperatures continue with a high of 32 and a low of 25. And on Wednesday, the temperature will rise and we could see 40 degrees and we'll have even a low of 27. That's your 5-day weather forecast. Don't forget your winter coat and be safe on the roads. Sarah, John?
The 2021 to 2022 course scheduling window will open next month. Each CPHS student will meet with their counselor to complete course requests during their scheduled time period. The course catalog with detailed course descriptions, schedule change policy, and many other important pieces of information are located on the CPHS guidance page. In the midst of online schooling and social distancing, procrastinating on homework has become the reality for most students. CPTV's Rocco Jan dove into this problem with CPHS students to learn the best ways of beating procrastination.
Math tests, timed essays for English class, even chemistry labs. all from the comfort of your own home. Ever since school resumed at CPHS last August under the hybrid schedule, rooms such as this basement have become the new classrooms of many students for most school days. While it may seem great on paper, the at-home setting has proved for many to be the ultimate catalyst for procrastination. When it comes to schoolwork, those working from home sometimes struggle to stay focused on Zoom lectures and coursework, which leads them to push assignments off until later until their schoolwork eventually piles up. As a result, the question arises in this era of COVID-19. What are students doing while they procrastinate, and why exactly are they doing it?
Well, at least nowadays, people procrastinate a lot because they don't have the structure of school. And there's just so many different distractions and so many things we'd rather do than just school. There's so many different things I do while procrastinating. I play Minecraft. I watch TikTok. Whenever I feel like overwhelmed or stressed, I start procrastinating because I just can't really focus on the subject. So I look for distractions.
And then we also could have some procrastination if we perceive like a bad ending. So if we're perceiving this bad ending, then, we our defense mechanisms come up and we want to avoid that. And so then we just don't do it. Or we prolong to do it, and which obviously we know can create bigger problems. In terms of, right now we're on this yellow status. And so if you think about what it was like, we had these normal routines, right? You'd come into school, maybe you're listening to your music, you're hanging out with your friends, you're hanging out in the cafeteria, you're doing all these things that are kind of like rituals and patterns that your body is used to that really get our minds prepared to do work. So I would say one of the big things is if you're finding yourself just stuck, you need to take a break. Your brain is kind of stopped, and so you need to either do something maybe physically active, maybe you need to call a friend, FaceTime a friend, go talk to, a sibling, go for a walk with your dog, listen to some music, just something different. And then that might energize you to come back.
Based on what we've seen so far, it appears that students will still have some trouble focusing on Zoom lectures and other coursework while we're still under this hybrid schedule. However, with proper time management and time set aside for short breaks throughout the day, it appears that students in CP still definitely have the ability to persevere through these challenging times. For CPTV, I'm Rocco Jan.
The girls basketball team closed out regular season play earlier this week. The gymnastics team lost a close one to Lake Central, and CPHS welcomes their new varsity football head coach. Here's Blake Pysh with all your CP sports highlights.
Yesterday, the number 3 ranked Crown Point gymnastics team took on the number 2 ranked Lake Central Indians. The Bulldogs got off to a hot start on their first 2 rotations, scoring a 27.3 on vault and a 28.0 on beam respectively. Midway through the meet, the Bulldogs led Lake Central 55.3 to 54.8. In the back half of the meet, Lake Central showed some struggles on vault. However, Haley Delgado of the Indians salvaged the rotation with a 9.25. Despite the Indians' woes on vault, Crown Point's lead slowly dwindled away on the floor exercise. The Dogs only scored a 26.65, which was by far the lowest score of the year. Crown Point ended up losing the meet 108.65 to 109.15. Sophomore star Charlotte Annis of the Bulldogs finished the night first place on bars with a 9.3 and first on beam with a 9.5. Charlotte also tied for first with Lake Central's Haley Delgado on all-around with a 36.9. The girls' next meet will be at Maryville on Saturday. On senior night this past Tuesday, the second-place state-ranked Crown Point Lady Bulldogs basketball team took on Kankakee Valley with hopes of climbing up the state ranks all the way to the top. The Dogs got off to a huge lead early, and after the first quarter, they led 19-2. Senior guard Alina Santiago led the way for the Bulldogs with 18 points, 7 assists, and 5 steals on 100% shooting. Lily Stoddard and Jessica Carruthers of the Bulldogs, who are both ranked number 12 in the nation at their respective positions, played great. Lily finished with 16 points, 4 steals, and 2 blocks, and Jessica finished with 15 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists, and 6 steals. The Dogs ended up winning the game 70-30, and the ladies start sectional play tonight at 7 against Hobart. On Thursday, the Crown Point swim team took on Michigan City. CPTV's Claire Patina has more.
The number 1 DAC ranked Crown Point girls swim team went heads-on against the girls' Michigan City swim team. This leads them to another victory in a historical season. The Crown Point swim team for both boys and girls are bringing their A-game by leading a tremendous comeback this season to previous years.
It's been pretty good so far. I think our record is around 10-1. I think we only lost to Chesterton, which is normal for us.
Leading them to this victory is top swimmers on both teams. For the boys, this includes Jackson Smith, with his winning events scoring first place in all 4 of his events, including the boys' 100-yard free stroke and 50-yard free stroke.
I swam pretty decent, had a couple drops, had a season best in underfly, but it was an easy meet, so it was fun.
For the women, Abby Donahue came in with winning first place in 2 events and second in 2 other. These events include girls' 200-yard medley relay and girls' 100-yard back. For CPTV Sports, I'm Claire Patina.
This past week, the Crown Point football team named Craig Buzia, aka Buzz, their new head coach. A region native, Buzia spent the past 10 seasons at Homewood Flossmoor High School in Illinois. He compiled a 94-24 record there while leading the Vikings all the way to the 2014 state championship game. When asked why he took the job at Crown Point, Buzia said, "I have always wanted to get back into the region to coach. A big part of coming back is what I think about the community. I think it's an awesome place, and I feel like the potential here is fantastic." And that's it for sports.
The Legacy Foundation has opened up their scholarship applications. A link to the application has been posted in Naviance in the scholarship list, where you can access it through RDS. The application deadline is this upcoming Monday at 5 p.m. That's it for today's show. Thanks for taking the time to tune in and for being with us.
Remember, you can view all of our past episodes on crowntownmedia.org.
You can also follow us on Twitter at CrownTMedia.
For Blake Pysh, Sebastian Zieniewicz, and all of us here at CPTV, I'm Jon Lieber.
And I'm Sarah Frey.
Take care.